Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. My day's been pretty good so far, not too bad. When I got home from work last night, I saw that um, uh, Mr. Mandy had posted the video. Um, he kind of did a workaround, because unfortunately, when it comes to Instagram, if you post a link, it's not clickable unless you do it up in your profile. So, yeah, you can actually click on his profile button. It'll take you over to his YouTube page so you can watch it that way. Or you can follow the instructions that he has and click the share button and then click the copy button. And yeah, it's a bit complex. But what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to post a link in the description for this video, and I'll also have it over on the blog as well for with today's post, so you can watch it different ways and so forth. Basically, what he did is it's a cover from of excuse me. Oh, hold on a second. There we go. Yeah, it's a cover. Not new music, but it is a cover of Motorhead's The Ace of Spades. That's actually his signature song. He was really good friends with Lemmy before he passed away. Lemmy was really his mentor, so he's paying tribute to him. So yeah, and I've seen him perform that song. He does a really great job. Love the video that he did for it. It's absolutely fantastic. For those of you who have been following me for a while, you know that I am a huge fan of Westerns, TV shows, movies. So yeah, it's a combination of that and rock, so and of course you know how much I love badasses and bad boys and so forth. Um, So yeah, you have all those elements in there, and of course you have the beautiful girl, and so on and so forth. Um, but yeah, I actually really love this, but especially that Western component. Basically, it's a saloon type setting or whatever, and they're playing poker and everything. But yeah, and then at the end of the video, a nice little announcement, which he said that he was going to do. He is someone of his word, as much as you possibly can. I'm sure that, of course, there's always hiccups along the way. But he made a special announcement. Looks like he's going to be bringing out some new music. Yay! So awesome. Love it. But yeah, I really liked that video. It was really, really cool. So yeah, like I said, I'll have the link in the description, or if something happens, you can always go over to the blog, do it there, or you can head over to his Instagram handle is Mandy Lion Rock, I think. You can just do a search for Mandy Lion, and then go over to his, he has the link directly to his YouTube channel, or you could just do a search in YouTube and find it there. So, yay, awesome, love it. But yeah, so that was really, really cool, coming home to be able to see that. It was kind of interesting with yesterday's reading. Speaking of work, by the way, with yesterday's reading, I don't know if you all saw the pic that I did on the community board of what it was. There was I had also aside from the spirit. I know I got something in my eye there. It's kind of bugging me. Aside from the spirit animal oracle and then tarot reading, I was also called to pull cards from the Lightworkers oracle deck. And the three cards, I never remember. There was one card about service, which I have been doing quite a bit here lately. It's like, But the middle card was Dark Night of the Soul. I was like, uh-oh. And then the last card was about basically the angel number messages. Um, but I was just like, okay, we'll just go with it. But the thing that was really sticking with me, even though I know, of course, what a Dark Night of the Soul journey is and so forth, I was really called to read that description. The descriptions in that book, they can wind up running like 2, 3 pages long, but there's like a little synopsis at the very start, and that's what I was called to read. And the messages that were coming through with that was for one thing, the reminder that you didn't do anything wrong, that it's the Dark Night of Soul journey was going to be happening because to help you bring you closer to Spirit, the divine. And that definitely happened with me last night. When I went to get into my car, um, I with the weather change, the drastic weather change that we had, I was having a hard time getting her started. I was like, oh no, this is not good, because I've of course, I've gotten a little behind on bills and so forth. So it's like, oh, I need to be working right now, and I'm just like, okay, what do I do? I got her going, but she was chugging like you would not believe. I was just like, oh, this is not good. This is not good. But what I did is, it's a small complex that I live in right now, and or I should say now. Um, what I did was I just drove around, stayed inside, of course, and just, it's basically a big square. So what I did was I just drove around in that circle or square, whatever. And then I parked her, and she was chugging like you would not believe. I was like, oh, this is not good. I'm like, I hope I don't be needing a repair. I don't need that right now, so on and so forth. But what I decided to do, of course, follow my instincts, my intuition, and I know my eye just is really bugging me, as I went back to, of course, where I started, parked it, shut her off, left her shut off for a few seconds, like about 30 seconds, something like that, restarted her, started better, and pulled out, did the same thing, parked her, and shut her off again, and then redid it, and that definitely helped. So still kept that was the other thing too, is I kept getting that check engine light coming on. I'm like, that's why I was like, oh, but I'm like, no, I just kept getting the feeling. I'm like, no, it's going to clear up. So I needed to go pick up prescriptions anyway, and I had just recently gotten my prescriptions transferred over to the new pharmacy. So I went over there and picked those up, and they're just right around the corner. And as it cleared up, as far as like that chugging was concerned. But by the time I gassed up, and I still need to run to get her some food and so forth, by the time I did all of that, check engine light went off. So it's like, yay. But then I did have something else happen a little bit later. My intuition was definitely in full swing last night, especially at the start there. Yeah, and I just kept praying to Spirit. I'm like, help me, help clear this up, help me get through this, give me strength, so on and so forth. And, help me make money I need to be making, and so on, and everything. And yeah, and not only that, but Spirit also kept me in areas that I prefer to work, where I knew I could make money and everything. So yeah, don't I know don't the way don't tell me that none of that is real. None of what I experience is real, because it is. I have pro- it's been proven to me so many times over the last 5 years since I started down this spiritual journey. Um, and it just keeps getting better and better. And my instincts, my intuition keeps getting stronger and stronger, and so forth as well. So, and I mean, and I've struggled with my spirituality throughout my life, my whole life. Um, Born Catholic, but it just didn't resonate with me all that very well. And I was, I went to different churches, religion, tried out different religions or what have you. Nothing just ever seemed to fit, or I just felt like that some were just trying to cram their own beliefs down my throat, and just it just, yeah, it didn't resonate with me. I didn't agree with it and everything. Um, even was even an atheist for a while, agnostic. I've been kind of all over the place with things. So and then of course, what really drove me to being an atheist is really the thought that, with basically looking at history with like missionaries, and with what they were doing with cramming their beliefs down other cultures' throats and so forth. And it's like, if the way I was looking is, if everybody's wrong, then who's right, from that sort of mentality and everything. And it was just like, no, no. I didn't. It's like, if this is what spirituality or religion is all about, no, I'd much rather be an atheist. How can, who's say that this God is right or these gods are wrong? I mean, it just didn't make any sense to me. And then 5 years ago, well, actually, almost yeah, 6 years ago, almost. Um, I had some things happening. I was basically kind of really at my wit's end with a lot of things, and I felt my soul just screaming out for help. And because I felt like I wasn't getting any sort of help or support or anything like that here. And So yeah, that's when things really started kicking in, and I started um, being, I guess you could say, directed, guided, or what have you, uh, down this journey. And it's been so worth it. So worth it. And I understand it's not for everybody. I just tell you my story in hopes it will help you with figuring things out for your own self, because everybody's going to be different. Everybody's on a different journey. So what it works for one person may not be the same for somebody else. What resonates for one person may not resonate for somebody else. There's no, this is the way I look at it. When it comes to religion's dogma, that's more cookie cutter. Okay, you put the cookie cutter in the cookie dough, you're going to get the same cookie every single time. I don't feel that that is the way that spirituality is. It's a journey. I feel that we're all here to experience this life for lessons and for growth, so for our souls can grow. And we're all going to be at different stages in our journey. Some people may be more advanced, or I guess you could say, I hate using that word, maybe more ascended or whatever. Some people are not so much. They're still really stuck here in the 3D or whatever, and or in this plane of existence. Let's put it that way. Um, and those who, I feel that we all have something to share to help us on our journeys. And Not to say that, oh, well, this, this person who is ascended more or whatever, so they're going to be teaching. It isn't about that, because there's people who are, who may be more connected with the 3D, who can teach us who are more connected with the 5D. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay? We all learn something from each other. And in the process, we are helping each other. Okay? So, yeah. And today's message, yeah, it was a little bit more complex. I was really kind of him-hawing as to which deck or decks I was being drawn to, and ultimately I went to these newer decks that I purchased end of last year, beginning of this year, basically. I was really drawn to those. I wound up using those anyway, and I felt like I'll admit, there's something that I have been kind of struggling with or whatever, and it's like, okay, I felt like the messages that were coming out were in relation to that, basically. So it's like, okay, all right, I get it. So anywho, yeah. So we have that. We've had that going on. Also, going back to the announcements, this is the weekend for the Renovation Foundation, for their big fundraiser. It kicks off tonight with the poker tournament over there at the Venetian in their new poker room. Tomorrow is the golf tournament, and then tomorrow night is the concert. I don't know if there's still spots available for the poker tournament or the golf tournament. You'll have to go over there to their website, which, by the way, I did look it up yesterday, and I forgot to mention it in yesterday's video. It's renovationfoundation.org. You can go head on over there, and I remembered that there is an events link or whatever, or tab or whatever, and you can find all the information on there. And then, of course, I don't know if there's still tickets available or not. I seriously really wanted to go to the concert, to be perfectly honest, but money is just too tight, especially with the with the move that has happened, and then I had little setbacks and so on and so forth. I mean, even for me to do the move, I had to take out a loan against my car, so I have those payments too that I'm doing. And then, of course, with everything that's happened, after the move, with my body not wanting to cooperate and so on and so forth, I need to be working. So I have to set those boundaries, and at least I'm doing my part. This is the way I'm looking at it. Even though I can't, yeah, I very much would love to go to the concert. There's some great performers that are going to be there and everything, and I realize that the ticket is really, really inexpensive. It's only like $63 now. But that $63 can go a long way for me right now. So I had to make that decision. So no, I will not be at the concert. And of course, I don't play poker, so I'm not going to be doing that. And if you saw my video about golf, yeah. 5. Go back. It's the one video that's it's got the thing in it about a funny story. Okay, go back and watch that one. You'll understand. All right, in case you haven't seen it. So anyway, I can be a bad girl too. That's actually a much lighter side of bad girl that I have been in the past. But anyway, we won't go there. So, yeah. Anyway, like I said, I feel like at least I'm doing my part with helping to get the word out and everything. So, sending out definitely a lot of positivity and much success to everyone involved with getting that together. Also, of course, to um, Mr. Lyon with everything. Um, Also, there was something else. Wow, my ear is just ringing. Just all of a sudden, it went pop and beep. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm mostly getting messages in, or somebody's really talking about me, one or the other. There was also another. There's an event going on over at Jackpot Bar and Grill. A friend of mine that I went to, dang, is it ringing? Wow, that's a big one. Um, wow, yeah, that's driving me nuts. Um, Jackpot Bar and Grill, a friend of mine that I went to design school with. This is the same one. Oh my gosh, that's driving me nuts. Same one who was over at Ren Fair last week. Wow. Something. Oh man, am I being talked about big time? Um, or something. I mean, it's even plugged in there. It's like it's ringing like crazy, and it's just at the same time it's plugged. It's like whoa. Anyway, this is the same friend who was at Ren Fair last week, a part of uh, I guess organization. We'll say organization. I'm not too sure, company or whatever. But basically, they have like they set up booths for different events that happen around the valley, called the Witch's Kitchen. Hello. Okay. Now somebody's pounding on the walls. Okay, this is an interesting one. Anyway, over at Jackpot Bar and Grill, they're doing something sort of witchy or whatever, Halloween or whatever. If you have a chance to go over there, it's over on South Jones. It's in between Flamingo and Spring Mountain, over basically the western edge of Chinatown. Um, if you have a chance, oh my gosh, that's driving me nuts. If you have a chance to at least drive by there, it is awesome. I know they've done this. I think they did it last year as well, where they took skeletons and they have them on the side of the building, like they're crawling up the side of the building or whatever. It's so cool, so cool. I love what they do there. But anyway, they're doing something that's kind of like a Halloweeny sort of event tonight or whatever. So you might want to check that out. I'm sure the info is up on their website as well. I don't know. I haven't looked or anything. But I did see her post that this morning. And speaking of skeletons, I have noticed one of the things I love with the work that I do with being in the transportation industry, especially since I switched over to doing the ride sharing, and now of course I'm doing strictly deliveries. One of the things I love is I get the chance to go into different neighborhoods, see everybody's holiday decorations and everything. And there's been some really, really cool Halloween displays this year. And what I've noticed, the big thing this year are really tall, like skeletons, those really, really tall Terminator almost looking like skeletons. I mean, they're like 12 feet tall or whatever. And then not just the skeletons, but also these ones that are really macabre, they're really with lights and so forth. But last night, I went to deliver at this one house, and unfortunately it was too dark to be able to get any pictures or anything like that. But I really liked what they did. They did a spider theme with the skeletons, and what they did was they took the skeletons and they wrapped them up in spider web and then attached spiders to them. Made it seem like that the spiders were cocooning them, and then they hung them upside down. There was one I don't know where they get that um, um, that model, whatever you want to call it, from. It kind of reminded me. You remember the second Poltergeist movie with the preacher? Kind of reminded me of him in a way, and he was hanging upside down, just like holy cow, that was crazy. Those movies creep me out primarily because I was living in an old house at the time that was haunted by the previous owner. And I was only like 6, 7, or no, excuse me, about 7, 8 years old at the time when the first movie came out. With the second movie, I was a little bit older, but still, and we weren't living in the same area anymore. But still, yeah, it's still creeped me out or whatever. But yeah, but it actually reminded me of him a little bit. But yeah, it was pretty. Cool. That was pretty cool. And then they had a bench out there by the front door. You kind of zigzagged around to get up to the front door, and you came around the corner, and sitting there on the bench was a skeleton. I'll admit it almost spooked me. It did catch me a little off guard, and I was just like, what? But yeah, I didn't scream or anything. It was just like, what? Where'd you come from? You know, it was just sitting there on the bench because, of course, I was paying more attention to getting to things with the app, and and walking up and making sure that I wasn't going to trip over any obstacles because that this time of year, with all the displays, people are draping cords across sidewalks and so forth. So yeah, I just want to make sure I'm not going to be tripping over anything. So, but yeah, I was paying a little bit more attention to things like that than a skeleton sitting on a bench right there, kind of close to the front door. It's like, whoa, where'd you come from? So, but yeah, that seems to be the popular theme this year, skeletons, big time. I'm seeing tons of skeletons everywhere. So, I'm surprised I'm not having nightmares about them. And those really tall skeletons that are really, really popular. They remind me of the Terminators, especially when they put lights like in the eye sockets, and so forth. It's like, oh my gosh, they really remind me of Terminators. So anyway, yeah, I know my ear is still going and my eyes are still funky, and it's like, okay, oh my goodness. I was gonna maybe see about doing my yoga today, but I know it's getting kind of late. Yeah, it's already 1 o'clock, and I still need to cook. So anyway, I'm gonna let you go, and so I can cook. I'm gonna make chicken dinner, and of course, Possum is sitting out there in her tree, giving me nasty looks like, "Mom, you're keeping me awake. Mom, I want my breakfast. Hurry up." I know. And so, anywho, all right. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope I can get rid of this ringing out of my ear. And get it from unplugging. It's driving me nuts. Yeah, I did pick up the other. It's the new is Asmonex. I'm gonna do some research on this before I start using it. I'm not entirely. I don't want to repeat of what I went through before. Yeah, I don't want to run that risk. So that was one I picked up yesterday too. Bottle insulin, and also my new sensors too, because that's going to be running out here soon. So anyway, I hope that you all have a great weekend, and I hope that there's a lot of success with those various things that I have talked about. And I will talk at you later. I love you guys. Oh, and by the way, thank you for the 100 subscribers. I appreciate. When I was doing this, I had no intentions of getting any subscribers or anything. This is more of like a personal journey or whatever. But hey, if anything that I'm saying or posting or whatever is resonating with you, or you're liking or whatever, appreciate it. Yeah, I'm glad that, if I'm helping people, I'm glad that I'm able to do that. So anyway, I will talk at you later. Love you guys. Take care. Mwah.